Hello, I have another soul winning tip video for you guys, and it's going to be really simple. It's just, show up on time, right? So, in life, this is a very basic concept, whether it's like a job interview or a wedding or other events that happen in life, there's a certain time that you're expected to show up or be there. And sometimes people are very proactive and they show up a little bit earlier so that way they can get settled in and park their car and all those things. So if it's like like a job interview or a medical appointment, like the dentist or the doctor or something like that, human beings in general tend to do pretty well in these kinds of events, especially because now we have technology. We have things like Google Maps, Apple Maps, and we can basically put in that address, and it's going to tell us some sort of estimate, like, hey, you'll be there in like 15 minutes, 20 minutes, or whatever. And then you can take that into account as you're driving over there. And sometimes they might even overestimate, right? It might say, like, hey, you're going to be there in 15 minutes. But when you actually start driving there, you actually end up being there in like 13 minutes or 12 minutes or even 10 minutes or something like that. Because, of course, traffic can fluctuate and things of that sort. So, now, unfortunately, even in those cases, a lot of people can be a little bit negligent in those things, and they can take forever to get to a doctor's appointment, take forever to get to an interview. Obviously, the whole point is that you need to be respectful of other people's time, the interviewer's time, the doctor's time. Time is a very valuable thing. The Bible tells us that we should redeem the time, right? And so, at the end of the day, soul winning is also very important because we're not just simply trying to get our teeth cleaned. We're not trying to get a job. We're trying to show people how to be saved and get people saved. So that's why soul winning is extremely important, and that's why it's very important that we show up on time, right? So if soul winning starts at 3:30, right, be there at 3:30, be there at 3:35, right? I mean, if at the end of the day, it's not the end of the world if you're late by like a few minutes, but if someone starts at 3:30, you shouldn't arrive at like 4 or 4:30 or something like that, right? At the end of the day, if it's going to take longer for you to show up, then I think the only thing that would be fair would be just letting the person know ahead of time, like, hey, just so you know, I don't think this time's going to work for me. Let's push it back like 30 more minutes because I got something that came up. And make sure you let them know ahead of time so that way they have time to prepare, so that way they're not like out driving and then they have to drive back and then they drive again, so now it's like they're wasting gas because you didn't let them know ahead of time that that soul winning time wasn't going to work, so we have to like push it back a bit later, you know 30 more minutes, an hour, what have you. So at the end of the day, we just want to be respectful of people's time, respectful of our time, respectful of other people's time, other soul winning partners that you go with. Just show up on time. I mean, it's as simple as that. I mean, there really is no excuse at this point. If you're someone that's delinquent in this area, you just need to learn how to do it well. I mean, if you can show up on time for a job interview, if you can show up on time for a doctor's appointment or something like that, then in the same exact way, you should be willing to show up on time for soul winning, right? I mean, I'm not trying to like belittle people. I'm not trying to call people out or something, but I'm just simply saying, in my personal experience, this is something that I see every now and then, and so it's just not something that we want to see. At the end of the day, make sure you're respectful of other people's time. Try to get there, on dot at that time as much as you can. Even showing up a little bit early is not the end of the world. And also keep in mind that sometimes it can be really hot outside, and so it's like if people are just waiting, and it's super hot and they're waiting in their car and now they have to use more gas just to keep the AC on. That's not respectful of other people's time if they have to wait super long. So make sure you show up on time. If anything changes, just let the other person know ahead of time um, so that way they're not just at an apartment just all by themselves, just waiting indefinitely, right? That wouldn't be a good thing. But yeah, have a great day.